Hi, welcome to the DK 805 podcast with Christy and Katrina. And today we have Brittany Mertz with us, and we're happy to have you on here. We're going to be talking about a subject that I feel is often overlooked, and that's sibling loss. And Brittany has on Instagram under A Sister's Grief to help support those siblings that have lost due to this epidemic, or just if you've lost a sibling. I lost a sister, and I can tell you how my grief was often overshadowed. But more importantly, what we're getting to right now with the DK 805 podcast epidemic and the fentanyl poisoning. And if you would share your story and how old your sister was and how it's affected you.
I do want to add, I've just seen your growth and your courage and the strength and just, shining so brightly in the walks. And when I watch you speak, to know what that takes to do. And that, where we first began speaking, you and I was a way back. You can do this. And I've just seen you like a butterfly, like just be, just shining and leading a light. And I just feel that all around you with your sister. And I how I've felt that many times. So go right into you and your beautiful sister, Brittany, to share.
Thank you. That means so much. Thank you for the words. Oh, give me the chills. So my sister, she was 3 years younger than me. Her name is Samantha. She's amazing. So what ended up happening was she went through a breakup. And after that breakup, she was lonely and she reconnected with an old friend who she knew a long time ago. That was in January 2023. And then by August 2023, my sister was dead. Well, it turns out that so he introduced her to cocaine. And for her, that was a going out, and that was fun
like
for
a bonding.
her. I think it numbed pain, and it helped her not think about things that she was doing. And he apparently was doing, I guess I probably can't say, but so he gave her, there was cocaine involved.
Yes.
And
yeah.
So one night he gave her, or they had gone to San Francisco, they were hanging out in the city. And so we woke up to a call that my sister had passed. It took a little while to find answers, but eventually what we ended up finding out was that he switched the bag and switched what he gave her, and he gave her a humongous line of straight fentanyl. And that was in San Francisco. He drove over an hour to the farthest hospital. We're in Marin County, to the farthest hospital north in Marin. So that would be over an hour that she was dying. And then went into the hospital and said, I have a drunk girl in my car. Didn't give her name, didn't give anything. Takes her dog. And so she was originally a Jane Doe. And the police were called, and they ended up intercepting him down the road. His mom was on the way to pick him up.
Oh my God.
And she knew what had happened. And so she was coming to, get your stuff, get out of there.
Yeah.
Well, so he ended up being the first manslaughter charge in Marin County. So through that, we had found out a lot of information. The night after she passed away, I got a phone call, and somebody said to me, look, I knew who your sister was. I work in the hospital where she passed away, and I could lose my job for this. I can be prosecuted, but there's more to this story that you need to see. And I want to meet up and show you the surveillance footage from that night in the hospital.
Wow.
So my aunt and I ended up doing a 2 a.m. meeting with this person in some random parking lot, and I got to watch the footage. So hard to watch. I mean, my sister has been gone a day, and so he pulls up. So on top of her dying for that amount of time, he pulls up, and he is for 7 minutes wiping off her body. He's reaching around her, taking things out of the car, going through her purse and taking things out of her purse, making sure there's nothing on her, going through the whole car. So she had no chance.
Oh my
He had driven all that
God.
time and then spent an additional 7 minutes. And he's right in the parking lot, right under the huge light, doing all these things.
Oh my God. And time
And
is just
so,
ticking and he already knows and
yeah.
oh my God, the brain, I don't under.
And
Mm.
San Francisco, they respond to these things. I mean, this is what they do. So
Moment by
yeah,
moment, right? Is every, yeah,
yes.
yes, this is not, yeah.
And so he gave her zero, no chance. They couldn't bring her back. They tried for 30 minutes. But so there were so many factors to it that were like, okay, this is so much more to the story.
Absolutely.
Um, it's somebody who she trusted. Thought she was going out and having fun. We didn't expect it. I mean, my sister, yeah.
How long did it take? I'm sorry. How long did it take for, like, as you said, that the mother came to pick him up? How long from that point did police intercept with that, where they
They
had
got
him?
there very quickly. They
Oh,
got
okay.
there with it. Less than 10 minutes it took the police to get there. And I'm pretty sure because they had told him that he took off.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I commend the PD. They had a very quick response. And because of that, we were able to get my sister's dog back. She didn't have kids. We had to get him out of the pound and he was apprehended. So their
Oh
quick
my
response.
God, the trauma in that I'm hearing, in all of the layers of the trauma. And Christy was just speaking on going to where she came from, like we had shared, coming back from the court today to speak on the trial that she's, the closing of that part, but the trauma that it brings up again. Now
Yeah.
that is layers and layers.
Well, and as a mom, one, I have the sister's grief as well. That's different. Grief is different as individual, as fingerprints. But as a mother, the morning I found my son, I remember telling my son, Jacob, it always makes me cry, about his brother. And oh crap, I'm going to start crying. He collapsed in my arms. And as a mom, what we want to do is protect both our children. So as you and your aunt are watching that video, I can only imagine your mom also wanting to protect you in that very, very moment, because when you watched that video, and I had to watch my body cam as well, there's certain things that you don't forget. And seeing what happened to your sister is a different layer of trauma. And as a sibling, I think what often can end up happening, I know I'm still crying, we want to protect our children, but we can't. So we're watching one of them that is deceased, yet we're watching the other one grieve in a way that should never happen. And when the news gets out, I don't know what word, when people that you love learn that your sister passed away, immediately is, how's your mom? How's your mom? How's your mom? And you're in the background going, what about me? What about me? And so since I had sibling loss, and I know how it can often be overlooked, a different type of loss, because it's hard to try to comfort your mom when you're grieving yourself. You just lost your best friend.
I'm not quite sure if that is support you felt you were able to have. And you can speak on that, whatever you're comfortable with. But, again, not all family structures are set up in a way where there is this, like, there's understanding of what you're going through from maybe the support that you did need, whereas you have, the mother that you are with processing grief, the support there. Did you feel you were able to get the support you needed at that moment from who you needed it?
No, like I listened to you speak like that and I just can't relate at all. I
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, I didn't. I didn't think so from our conversations and that.
Mm,
And I'm so sorry for that.
thank
And that's where I've just felt like when I've been messaging you, I just really, um, for me, it's also, so as we said, the fingerprinting, our grief layer is so different. Um, I lost my mom so soon after my son, and she lived with us. And, we all have this is like our journeys that we're all similar in the loss and this fentanyl crisis, this loss, this pain. My boy struggled before the loss, and there was that. So was, the pain in the family. My mom just like constantly wringing her hands. I'm a hand wringer. I do that, but in that, so support being looks so different for every family, like is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
I sort of like
Yeah.
I was sort of the parent of the family, like for my mom, even in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
even though she's the most, again, my angel mama, she was in dementia. So she was in early Alzheimer's, and we cared for her. So there were moments where it was like, where's Dylan?
Right. Oh,
Is Dylan coming home? And they were few, but I'm just reflecting on that. There was so much pain inside of that because I just would like I was in deepest grief, like where you're sharing like that I would turn to who I needed that from. And she wasn't able to do that.
yeah.
And I've heard from many stories from just people in this walk when loss happens, like friendships change, the circle changes, you feel less of the support, other family, and also too if there's addiction or other things going on within the family structure, they may go
Yeah.
down a path to heal, they're numb, and then they're not able to be there, like so.
But, so where have you found and since my grief journey was different, how did your grief journey look as a sibling? Because describe that to me because I'm a mother that constantly worries about my
Yeah,
other
where
children.
where at first did you turn to, sweetheart?
A podcast.
Yeah.
A podcast.
Nina, who hosts the Grief and Light podcast, I had called Kaiser. I told them I don't think I'm going to survive this. They're like, "Well, here, take antidepressants," and I wasn't going to go that route.
Yeah.
Um, it was the Grief and Light podcast was the very first thing that saved me, and I ended up going on and talking with her only 10 weeks after Sammy died. But I'd listened to her for a while, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, I can relate to this."
Yeah.
And so that's when I ended up starting my Instagram, and that was my support
The
is finding.
sharing.
Yep.
And I saw
Yep.
you speak
Yes.
a couple different times, and just that,
Yeah.
and it does, and it helps me, and that sharing and
Mhm.
that hope and that seeing like the shift and the change of like when someone's truly empathizing and hearing you and you feel heard, and it's like you're not alone, and all of that is why
Yeah.
we started, so we could be like, that was what the first thing Christy said to me was, it was through it was on a Facebook message. It
It
was
was
so
on
or
an
it
Instagram
was
too.
yeah.
It was
But it
Instagram.
was I was responding to something. We've said the story before, but I'll just tell it quickly. And she just said the words that she said. I won't even say what it was about. I said something. I threw it out there. It was in my grief, and she just said, "You're not alone." She just, out of all the comments that were left, it was like, that how we kind of connect with those that are meant to be. How we couldn't
Oh,
possibly talk to every single person out there that's in grief,
yeah.
but the ones that come in, there's a reason. There's a
Mhm.
sort of like, I feel like our people
A
are
kinship.
bringing them in, and like,
I
okay,
believe that.
yeah, I totally do. And that the they want to help us, they want to assist, they want to like help, and like,
Mhm.
our closest beings like my Dylan and your sister, and with Christy, with Devin, and then her sister. So like just bringing joy and light into a space where it feels hopeless. Like what you just
Yeah.
said, that what you reached out for to a hospital. I went
Yeah.
immediately ER, drove
Mhm.
my husband with my brother drove me there. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm going to get hooked up to the machines for the rest of my life. That's it. I don't
Right.
with, when the phone call came,
Yeah.
it's like, no, here's 2 Ativan, and you can, are you needing anything else? And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Mhm.
what am I, where do I,
Yeah.
what do you do with that? It's
You
so
talk.
like, it's like that's this grassroots thing of that we see now so gratefully for this community, because it gives us a space to heal out loud, to remember our loved ones in the way that we want them, like so beautifully shown. And I just look at
Yeah.
all your beautiful shares of, your beautiful loving on your sister and her forever with us is how I always like to frame that, because it's like, in infinity.
Yeah.
I always use infinity because
I
it's
love
like,
that. Yeah.
like that was my Dylan, and the signs for him was the infinity, his, one tattoo, and then,
Oh.
going up to the special healing place we go to in the nature. And I've shared that with you and so many other people, but
Yeah.
there was a 600-year petroglyph, which is Native American writing on rock. And it was like a 3-foot infinity. And I'm like, I'm here, I'm home. My boy's here.
No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that is.
the profound signs. And then that
They
leads me
are.
to just like,
So how old was your sister?
30.
30.
So she was 30 years old.
It was
And
30.
as a mother yourself,
Yeah.
walking this grief journey, there's a saying, and I believe it. Did your sister struggle, or was it just? Was it like Devin was sick? So Devin did have struggle with addictions, and why? Let me preface this statement, because when a family member is sick, the family unit gets sick, right? And so I
Right.
don't know if that was your story, but it wasn't your story.
No.
No.
No, my sister, no. It was a shock. So
Yeah, shock. Mhm.
And that's what's just as important to say currently right now in this fentanyl epidemic. It's not just those that struggle with
No,
addictions.
there's
It's
it's not.
no,
it's those that
Mm-hmm.
think it's safe or try
they're
or
they're
are
in their
just
moment. They're in their
experimenting.
they're in their moment. They're in their
Yeah.
like their especially in the age that we're talking about. The boys were 28, but there was like I said, a long struggle. But there is that like it's that free that's that like there isn't ever that thought that in that moment that they're like for your sister, and those stories just shatter you to think, yeah, she's just in that moment, and then
And has it, because I don't want to put words into my daughter's mouth, but how it's affected my family as a young mother. Has it created more anxiety with you
Oh my
and
goodness.
as a
And my daughter,
parent,
Mm.
as a parent?
yeah,
insanely a crippling amount. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
And so
Absolutely crippling.
how do you, um, I guess, what's your journey with how it's affected you as a mom and as a sibling?
As a sibling, I'm just completely lost. I don't feel safe in this world anymore. I'm that part I think I'll forever be figuring out, because that piece of me as a sibling left with her. I mean, I always say I died with her, but I'm still breathing. I mean, that part is I don't know that I'll ever discover. I lost a huge piece of me. So that's a forever journey, I think, as a
yeah,
sibling, doing the podcast that I do, and now doing these speaking events that I'm going to, and
Mhm.
working with these organizations is what helps me. As a
Yeah,
mom, I am beyond. My daughter's my only child. I think she saved me. I don't know that I would have survived this without her. Her story of how I ended up having her, she's a complete miracle baby.
yeah,
I see the reasons more and more that she was here as things happen.
yeah,
Um, but I worry. I mean, now she's just gone on a, like today, she texts me she's going tubing. She's on a trip. In
Mhm.
my mind, she's going to, and I text her back, please be safe, please wear a life jacket, please go slow, please. I constantly go to the worst things. She was riding a bike the other day, and she's not with me. I couldn't watch the video.
Mm.
In my head, she's going to fall and she's going to hit her head in the worst case scenario. I mean, I can't stand when the fair comes around.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That just reminded me. So someone was talking the other day. Just they show. Oh no, it was my brother's wife sent me a picture of two boys, and Dylan did everything like jump skateboarder, would jump off any video that
Oh,
you'd see like a scare you as a mom would be like. So he was just super like lived at the like the life on the edge, and so all growing up it'd be like one more time, watch me one more time, and then it just cut it
yeah.
accelerated, but jumping off of, watch this mom, and it'd be watching him jump off of the top of a roof into an empty pool on the skateboard. And you're just like, each time you're like, so it's like you just go as a mom in general, everything it's like you see them getting closer to the road, you're not going to rip them,
Yep.
back on, to you. But when it is the struggle of like the journey through addiction, it's like, you're like dying 1,000 times every, all the worry and all of that amplified. And I just, in that, just to say how you're handling it though, and showing persevering and just your own strength, that light that you are for her, is that again. And yeah, these things, I do believe deeply in like this. Deeply, I have to. It's what carries me, is that, that soul path, that God's in control,